There's no shadow rating going on yet, but maybe that'll change. We're
Hopefully.
starting to get something close to raiding shadows.
Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
shadows coming up.
What we raid in the shadows.
What do we raid?
Wow,
I would watch
that was
that.
good.
I don't know what it would be about.
I understood that reference.
That sounds like a raid Shadow Legends advert. This episode of War Planets, the Shadow Raiders podcast, brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
The Raid, Redemption, and Shadow Hunters.
Shadow Hunters.
Shadowrun.
And if you put in the code LaserComb, you get 1,000 free, I don't know, fucking crystals or something. Greetings, Rockhounds, and welcome back to War Planets, the Shadow Raiders podcast, Volume 4, Alliance Attacks. I am one of your hosts, NeoCal.
And I'm one of your hosts, Christopher Siege.
And I'm another host, AP Snidler.
Gentlemen,
Yes.
War Planets.
War Planets.
It's a show.
War Planets. It's a show.
Planets at war.
Planets at war. There's no
In
Shadow Raiders.
space.
There's no.
So, first episode of season 2 of Shadow Raiders.
Yeah, worlds within worlds.
Worlds within worlds.
Worlds within worlds. So where did we, like, very quick recap, the Beast Planet just came out of the goddamn sun.
Yeah. So worlds within sun. Worlds within stars.
Worlds within stars and worlds within worlds.
Yeah.
Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria.
Anarchy. Mass hysteria.
In the UK. Anarchy and bedrock.
So this episode doesn't waste any time.
No.
A giant like energy blast whips through the entire system. I like how it goes past all of the planets.
Yeah.
As if they're like very close together. And it slams into a battle moon and blows it up.
Yeah, this episode picks up like immediately after the end of the last episode.
Yep. And they lost a battle moon.
No.
My transformer. And so
there's some like back and forth like on the bridge of the ship that like most of our heroes are on. It's not really all that important.
Well, they're all in different ships right now, but they're talking through vid windows, and they decide to retreat or something.
Yeah, something like that. So, but we cut to Tekla being on planet Ice, which we left off last season. Tekla was on planet Ice looking for something. Doesn't know what it is, but she's looking for it.
She's looking for it.
Yeah. And she's continuing on with this quest, and Lady Zaira catches up with her.
Well, she sees a giant fucking spider, and she yells, "By the Matrix!" And I'm like,
okay.
By the Inferno.
By the Earth.
By the Pit.
By the Code.
By Mantle Crown.
And she goes to shoot this defenseless medium-sized spider.
It's big.
It's like big. Medium-sized compared to Australian spiders.
It's big, and I hate it, and I want it to die.
And you were saying, so you're with Tekla on that. But
I'm with Tekla on this.
Princess Zaira is like, hey, those are endangered. Fuck off.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
And she's like, fine. And then they just walk past the spider.
Yeah. And to what I was saying earlier about like Tekla not knowing what she's looking for, Zaira even asks her like what she's looking for, and Tekla's like, I don't know. I don't know. I was in Lamprey's head for a while, or Lamprey was in my head for a while, and like I'm kind of just going off instinct here.
I'm winging it. So that implies that the enemy knew about the world engines.
Yeah.
We haven't got there yet.
But what? But why?
But why? Yeah.
It's a trap.
Perhaps that's something that shall be revealed later in the series.
Perhaps. Yeah. So they walk through some ice caverns and shit, and we go back outside into space. Bad news bears. They got the ice planet mothership there, and
on planet Rock, Femur is like hanging out with
Planet Bone.
Or Planet Bone. Derp. Bone, Rock, you know. So on Planet Bone,
there's a tone shift here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Isn't there? Yeah. It's fucking weird. Pelvis is Pelvis? Yeah. He's kind of not so subtly calling Femur shit out.
Yeah. So Femur and Pelvis are like kind of chilling out, and Pelvis is just like shit talking him, and a bunch of guards show up, and they look like they're about ready to like fuck shit up, and Femur is like, what'd I say, basically, and Pelvis is like, well, basically, like the people, the warriors of Planet Bone are very honorable fighters and don't really like the fact that you ordered everyone to retreat
from the big battle.
Yeah.
And we ain't happy with you.
No.
Basically.
So and they're very frank. He's like, you know how the leadership works on this planet as much as I do, and he's like, yeah. Whoever.
Yeah, there's like
there's a saying that'll pop up.
Yeah, there's a rhyme that gets repeated.
It's like whatever. Whoever takes the throne rules the bone, or I think it's not too far off.
Yeah, no, you're on the right track. I don't remember the exact line, but you're definitely on the right track.
But basically, he's whoever's next in line. I guess the Vizier, whoever you choose. It's like legal to try to murder your emperor here.
Yeah,
and whoever murders that, it reminds me of the desert episode of Futurama. Whoever drinks the king becomes the new king, and Fry like drinks the old king, and he's like the new king, and like there are assassins waiting with straws, trying to like drink Fry up, but he's not made of water.
Wow.
All right. I mean,
because he doesn't kill Pelvis, even though Pelvis is like shameless about his attempts to assassinate Femur.
It's very comical too.
Yeah. I actually enjoy them a lot more in these episodes than the past season.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
You too?
Yeah.
Before it was like, oh, these guys again. Fuck, I hate them. Can they die? And in this season, I feel like the writers listened to what everybody had to say about season 1.
Yeah.
Well, because all the gripes I had with season 1 seem to have been rectified in these episodes.
Yeah, I'll get into
like Femur and Pelvis.
I'll get into it more later on in the podcast, but I was not prepared for the shocking leap in quality of these episodes versus the previous season. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
In the writing, they boy oh boy did they get their shit together.
Yeah.
It's good.
It is good. Yes. So what's going on?
So a bunch of traps go off on the throne and it misses Femur, and then we jump back to Tekla.
Yeah, Tekla and Zaira are continuing to wander through the caves of Planet Hoth.
And there's like an ice bridge. There's always an ice bridge. It's a mainframe.
I was gonna say this is a mainframe show.
Yeah.
There's always an ice bridge that's gonna break.
And of course, Zaira makes it across, and then there's this oddly dramatic scene of Tekla like running and jumping. And I'm like, who does
I
this
mean-
serve?
I mean, why not? It's a throwaway scene.
Yeah.
But out in space, the fucking Beast planet is quickly approaching planet Fire.
Yeah.
Yup.
And it does something that, like, have we seen it do this before? It actually, like, parts of
Lights
the
up.
sides of it, like, open up. Like, we've seen, like, the front of it and, like, the hand grabby thing come out before, but, like, the sides of it, like, kind of open up in, like, a, like, fanning effect, and, like, it starts, like, launching, like, beast drones from them.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
kind of
actually seen
cool.
that before. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is pretty cool.
Which, I kind of wonder, like, if you're the Beast planet and you can just, like, open wide and, like, gobble a planet whole, why do you need to send attack fighters?
Especially as we see later.
Yeah.
Any attempt
Interesting.
of attacks are completely useless against the Beast planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So why even send drones out?
yeah. I don't really get it.
Good catch. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah.
Because it needs the soldier, gives the soldier something to fight.
This question and many others will not be answered on this or a future episode of the podcast.
So there's there's another dumb scene here in the ice caverns. Zira yells, like ice fleas. And these gigantic they kind of look like the brain bugs from Starship Troopers.
Oh yeah. Right.
Slowly, like very slowly. Like you could
can
walk briskly
easily
and escape them.
Outrun it. Yeah.
And something happens that's perplexing. Even though they seem very scared and they start to run, Tekla's gun can one-shot shatter them.
Yeah, I didn't
But she-
understand why
She
she
only
didn't
shoots.
just.
She shoots one, runs away, looks scared, shoots another one, and I'm like, Tekla, just shoot them all. And
Yeah.
they surround them.
It seemed a
Isn't
bit
that weird?
weak. Yeah.
Like, why did she stop shooting them? And then when she looks surprised and sad that she's surrounded, she shoots one again.
Yeah.
And then
And then these weird, like, ice flea things can, like, breathe ice mist
Yeah. They can.
onto things that will freeze them. And so it freezes Tekla, but then they do it on Lady Zira as well, and she freezes. But I'm like, she's an ice creature herself.
Yeah.
So why
It's
would
not
she
gonna do much
freeze?
for her.
that would be like trying to light Pyrus on fire.
Exactly. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is it even colder than normal cold? Is it 20 below absolute zero? I don't.
I don't know.
It must. Yeah.
Well,
So you guys were
I
wondering
was
why
like,
she just
oh, that's out of me.
let's
I got my way out. Kick some ice.
Frosty.
But instead the ice fleas are like, chill. And they freeze them solid.
Yeah.
And then, before I just noticed now, before Zira gets frozen herself, she's like, "Hold on, and then she gets frozen, but she cocks a gun, and I'm like, "You both had guns?
Yeah.
Why weren't you
You
shooting
both
before?
had guns. You could both take all of them out in like
Seconds?
no time at all.
And they one shot. You shoot them and they
Yeah.
shatter.
Yeah.
Very bizarre throwaway scenes with Tekla and Zira going on here.
Adventure.
It's basically just like wasting time until they find the thing that they're going to find.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they can't find it right away. They need to build suspense.
They're on
Exactly.
a quest. A quest.
then there's like an amusing bit with Femur where he's like, there's this big like dinner table and it's got like a bunch of food on it and it's got this like live slug
Yeah.
and he picks it up and like bites the head off of it.
And
As
he's
the
like-
thing is alive, I'm like,
I know.
holy shit, wow, that's kind of grim. But he bites the head off of it and he is like, oh, I don't like these. And so he throws the body
I
of
hate
it.
fruit fillings.
Oh,
That's what he yells.
Okay.
Ew.
And then he throws it away.
He throws it away, and it lands on his throne, and then some spikes come up and impale the thing.
This guy's the luckiest emperor that has ever lived.
But then these tentacles with knives come around and start like stabbing.
Yeah,
Knives come out of the throne where
Yeah,
where you would
yeah.
sit.
yeah.
It's
I like
very
that
obviously a booby trap.
I like as the traps go off, Pelvis runs away with his arms above his head, like as if he's like scared, and it's like Femur has never retaliated against your attempts to assassinate him,
No,
Yeah.
right? So why is he
Right.
running now?
yeah.
Then
He was really bold.
a bunch of other traps go off as like Femur is like trying to flee the throne because like some big like pendulums and like shit like
Right.
come down and
There's fireworks and yeah.
yeah, there's
Ooh.
fireworks and which I found kind of funny. It's like so like presumably if this had like the point of this is if this had worked and Femur had died, like fireworks would start shooting
Fireworks
out in
would
celebration.
And then the gauntlet that he has to run through of the
Yeah,
gate,
yeah.
the swinging stuff. That's just for backup in case he lived.
Yeah, which he did. And even
Which
being
he
set
does.
ablaze, he still manages to survive.
This guy's so lucky. He's got like a really high luck stat.
Yeah. So back in the cave with Tekla and Zaira, Zaira breaks free and then uses the gun that she had to like break Tekla free and
Yeah, so I'm curious. They break free of their ice, right? Or Zira does specifically. Maybe
yeah.
because she's an ice creature. And the
Yeah,
ice
yeah.
fleas weren't eating them or doing anything. They
They were
actually
just
seem
They just
surprised when she breaks out.
It was
yeah, they just
weird
froze them.
because they went over and they started talking to each other
Yeah.
while they were breaking free. So I was
And
kind
like
of
you
like,
said, she uses
"What?"
her gun to unfreeze Tekla, and I'm like, is that how guns work?
I mean,
Right?
yeah,
These
that's
ones. Yeah.
that's how I defrost my steaks. I just shoot it.
Yeah, and then they run instead of just shooting them.
Yeah.
That's how they do it in America, damn it.
No, it isn't. They shoot everything first, ask questions later.
No,
As
I
we have
meant
proven.
in reference to Snidler's
Oh,
comment about
Yeah.
shooting his steak.
I shoot my steak to defrost it.
is there any better way to defrost it?
Well, some people
Well,
leave them on the counter for hours or put it in the
Oh,
microwave.
if there
But
is any other way, it is un-American, so I don't want to hear it, damn it.
defrost it in a microwave?
yeah, you never heard of that? There's
I
a defrost
Yeah,
setting. Yeah,
I do that with chicken
mm,
breasts a lot.
it doesn't cook it.
chicken
It
breast
just
okay, but I don't know about steak.
Oh, yeah.
I
Mm,
don't know.
I don't know.
But I don't think steaks are supposed to be frozen anyway, so
It's supposed to be eaten fresh.
supposed to be eaten
I couldn't
basically
tell you the
raw.
last time I ate a steak, honestly. It's probably been like a decade. I don't really like steak.
Oh,
Beef, beef.
I like a lot of different meats.
Yeah, me too.
I like seafood. I like
Meat.
pigs. I like chickens.
I like
I was a vegetarian for many years.
alligator.
That's true. You like alligator?
Alligator's good.
Really?
Yeah, ostrich.
I
That's
know
Ostrich?
someone
nice. Yeah.
who ate kangaroo once.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I had kangaroo once.
I had a friend who had a bizarre turducken. It was like an Australian turducken, but it was
Yeah,
like, what was it? It was like snapping turtle inside something inside kangaroo.
that is fantastic.
Or
Ultra.
like an Australian version of haggis or
Wow.
something. No, turducken because it's different animals. Yeah.
Huh.
What was it? It was
Weird.
like turtle something and then like kangaroo.
It's like a koala stuffed in a kookaburra stuffed in a.
I don't know if you're
I don't know
allowed to
why I'm
eat.
doing this. Stuffing everything.
Why not,
Koala,
man?
Yeah, for the audio
koala in a.
listeners, Snidler is fisting the air right now,
Yeah, basically. Ugh.
going
Tur-
elbow deep.
Turducken.
God.
Fucking
So what happens to
Turducken.
Tecla and Zero? Oh, they accidentally stumble upon like a teleportation Stargate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they they run away from like the ice fleas or whatever, and then just happen to stumble across the thing that they're looking for, which is a bunch of like standing stones, essentially.
Yeah.
And
It looks like Stonehenge. They walk into
And it teleports
Stonehenge,
them.
and
it
it
looks like
teleports them
a
to.
it looks like a miniature, like mini golf version of one part of Stonehenge.
Yeah,
Mini golf, yeah, because they're colorful
that's good.
cones. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it doesn't have like the pathway up to like the circle that Stonehenge has.
yeah, yeah.
It's just circular. So anyway, they
So
like touch a bunch of shit and get teleported away, and then
yeah.
we're
So null energy gets fired from the beast planet,
Pure, pure null
and
energy.
fucking uh Graveheart is
Mm.
like full power to shields
Yeah, and it
because they're
ricochets.
shooting another moon.
It ricochets off of their shields. Oddly enough, because it's null energy, I would have thought it just would have tore right through it.
it's
Yeah,
weird that
I
the
was thinking
shields
that.
didn't like absorb the
Yeah,
energy, the null energy. It deflected it somehow. I'm like,
yeah.
that's not
It's
how
really
energy
weird.
shields work in
Yeah,
like
in sci-fi.
any other sci-fi
Yeah,
thing.
it spreads the impact out, so it uses like energy to absorb and spread out
absorb
the impact.
the
Yeah,
shock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this just deflects it.
this is like a rubber band like
yeah.
shield that just bounces it off, and they're
This
like,
this,
"Oh no,
Oh
this is
no.
like Captain America holding up like a giant adamantium shield, like on an angle, so it
yeah,
just like bounces off.
yeah." And yeah, like Sandler said, it's just like that's not how null energy works. Wait a second, we've
And so
been
then
bamboozled.
it ricochets and it starts hurling itself towards the ice planet
Yeah,
Uh-oh, bad
where
move.
Tekla and
and
uh
King Cryos almost immediately gives up and
yeah,
is
like
like
shit.
shit. I guess my planet's doomed.
Right?
I mean, at
He's
that
like, "It's
point,
time for me to say goodbye to my planet and my
yeah,
daughter."
Yeah, just like right
yeah.
away.
There's not much you can do when a big ball of null
Fair.
energy is flying
Yeah,
towards your home. I
Yeah,
fair
mean,
that's like
enough. But
Frieza destroying the
but
planet,
like
right?
it was a very very quick surrender.
Yeah.
It was just
yeah,
kind of like, oh well, nah,
he accepted his planet's fate very quickly.
maybe he wanted it to happen.
Hey, now.
Maybe he,
So, yeah, we're on the
Let's
rainbow.
not go spreading rumors about King Cryos here.
it's an inside job, I tell
Friend
you.
of the show, King Cryos.
Friend
Okay.
of the show,
Yeah,
King Cryos.
yeah.
Shout out to Cryos.
Yeah.
Cryos. Okay,
So, yeah, they're in Rainbow Road, Tekla and Zira.
what? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The computer, like the circular mini golf Stonehenge thing,
Turns on, and it's
turns
like,
on,
welcome.
and
You've got mail.
And it's like, "Hello, I speak English. What would you like me to do, master?"
Yeah.
Oh, by
Oh
the way,
no,
I'm a world engine.
it says impact imminent or something. Um, only way to fix it is go maximum thrust.
yeah.
Maximum
And then
thrust.
she's
And
like, "What do
so
you
Maximum thrust.
mean?
Maximum thrust of what? And it's like of the world
The
engines.
world engines, huh?
And like, okay, so for the listeners, um, I've mentioned
Oh
this on the
man,
podcast before. I had seen season 1 of Shadow Raiders when I was a kid, but I'd never seen season 2.
mm.
And I just watched this episode for the first time yesterday. This legitimately was like I was like, "Oh shit. World engines?
Right? That's what it was like for me when I first
Fuck
saw this.
yeah."
It's like
I got so fucking hyped over this.
I did too, and I only saw it like for the first time a couple months ago, and yeah, pretty much
yeah,
the same reaction.
Yeah, and so what impressed me wasn't necessarily the world engines. There's actually some good sci-fi coming up here.
Mm.
Um it goes, okay, activating like world engines, and then it goes preparing atmospheric like shell or shielding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this
Yeah.
weird energy like bubble goes around the planet to hold on to its atmosphere and temperature and
yeah.
stuff.
It's
And I'm
it's
like,
preparing it for this.
oh,
People live on this thing.
And
You
then
know?
it mentions like gravity emitters or something
Yeah.
like
and
that.
then it's like, oh, initiating gravity emitters so that
Yeah.
the D forces on the planet don't change
Yeah,
even when it's moving. And
So
I'm like,
it's a
it was
cool
okay,
attention to
very
detail.
it was very
that's
well thought out. Yeah.
they they did their minimal amount of research on that. And I was like, you know what? Okay. I'm
Yeah.
on board now. You got the
Yeah.
gravity emitters, you got the atmospheric like protecting shell. Fuck yeah.
So
Let's fly around, boys.
they were it's like pressurizing the
Yeehaw.
cabin before
Yeah.
takeoff. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the random ice planet like soldiers takes his like helmet off and he's like, by the
Oh.
matrix, and like looks up in the sky and
Yeah, and like literal like
Big like
thrusters like emerge, like giant
from
ass
the
thrusters
ground.
like emerge from the ground on the planet and fire.
Yep.
And the planet moves out of the way.
how, how do you hide country-sized thrusters? You know what? I don't care. It's rad.
It's a conspiracy. It's okay. Everybody
Under
Yeah.
just
the
sleeps
ice.
soundly.
Under
Under
the ice.
under the ice.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hooray. Fucking hype.
Yeah.
I'm
Fuck
on board.
yeah.
That
By
was
And
the
they dodged the
glacier.
blast.
Thank the frost. It is all is well with planet ice.
yeah.
And
That
the
was episode
animation
1.
of the giant null energy flying past the planet and all the inhabitants looking up at it is,
It's pretty sweet. I liked
man,
it.
they changed the show a lot
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
better. They're showing the everyman. They're showing that soldiers are here. It's not just like the same 8 characters. It's
Yeah.
I'm digging this.
That's episode 1.
Yep. That
It's
is
a-
episode 1. Episode 2 is This is the Way the World Ends. And the episode opens with the Alliance Council on Planet Fire, like kind of just arguing about shit.
Yeah.
The Vizier is saying some Vizier bullshit, being like, oh, fuck the Alliance, basically.
I do not trust the Alliance.
Yeah.
That's good. That's very good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
We
Yeah.
cannot trust them, my prince. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. All right. That's good.
What can I say? I've watched some more planets.
So the Beast Planet is heading directly for Planet Fire. And
Yeah, it's like, well, fine. Not gonna give me ice. Guess I'm going for fire. And I'm like, hold up. Wouldn't fire be closest to the star? And ice would have been the farthest.
well, to be fair, it didn't fire directly at Planet Ice. It fired at a battle moon, and the battle moon deflected the shot into the accidentally into the trajectory
Oh,
of
sorry, no, it was
Planet
nowhere
Ice.
near them. Right.
Yeah.
So you're right. The science checks out. The closest planet that the beast planet would come in contact with would be Planet Fire.
Yeah, because the Beast
The
Planet
Mercury
emerged. Yeah, it
of the
emerged from the
system.
sun. Right.
Yeah.
All right. We
Yeah,
did it,
I
folks.
told
We
you.
figured it out.
Yay.
Science. Yeah, so
Science.
there's
So Tekla
Science.
barges in and is like, "Hey guys,
I have a
there's
calculator.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
She's like, here's some science bullshit readings that say, you guys got a world engine too. Hooray! Let's go find it." Yeah,
and then Jade
I'm gonna
Jade
guess
like
that
gets angry and slams the table, and I'm like, yeah,
what she
whatever
did.
Jade said. Oh, she was yelling at the Vizier. Right.
Oh,
yeah.
sounds like Brazier.
Yeah, and what does Graveheart say? He's like, hey, let's get busy then. We need everyone to be fighting the Beast Planet. And Jade is like, everyone? And she kind of narrows her eyes, and I'm like, uh-oh. She narrows her eyes at Vizier.
Yeah.
He doesn't take shit. That's one thing, right? Like he's like the advisor to Pyrrhus, but like say what you want about him, but like he's not gonna like back away from a staring contest.
No.
Even if Jade could crush his head between her thighs.
Nice. What?
Nice.
Wait, what? What are we talking about?
Jade crushing heads between her
No,
thighs.
I'm joking.
I know.
Yeah. So what happens? Like,
The moons. The moons come to fire. What are there left now? 3? 4.
yeah,
There's
I
4
think
moons
so.
left.
4 moons
Yeah.
are left. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're gigantic like laser blasts. Don't
And
seem to do shit against the beast planet.
Yeah, the moons can't really don't really stand a chance against the beast planet, and the beast
No.
planet is looming on planet Fire.
Looning.
Yeah, and Jade's like, there, that will buy us some time. And I'm like, is it?
Why? How?
Is it buying time?
I don't
Or
think
is it
so.
just kind of wasting the battle moons?
Well, and planet Fire actually starts to like rumble and break apart. And Graveheart mentions that it's because of like the gravitational pull of the beast planet.
I love that. Now there's so much good actual like science going on in here, sci-fi.
Yeah.
That I'm like, yeah, that's what would happen.
So things start breaking apart, and everyone is like, "Hey, we need to." Our heroes are like, "We need to flee into the temple." And
I think they lose a moon too. They lose a moon here. Yeah, around
sure,
like
probably. Yeah.
5:15, one of the moons gets like too close, and one of the giant cannons like fires at it point blank. And I'm like, what was that battle moon guy doing?
Nah, no kidding.
So
Maybe he was trying to shoot into the barrel of the the beast planet.
So they're on this big like pathway going to the temple, and they start running, and along on either side of the pathway are a series of big ass statues, and the statues are all like crumbling and falling apart, and one is about to fall onto Pyrrhus, but Graveheart, like a fucking champ, like leaps onto him, and like it's not like a like the typical thing like you see in movies and TV where it's like someone like leaps to like push someone out of the way. No, he
No.
leaps like on top of Pyrrhus and actually like stays there, like stays
Like
on top of him,
shields them.
so all to shield him. So like these statues like falling down, like he takes the brunt of the impact.
Yeah.
Also, they're not just like little pieces of debris.
They're huge.
No.
Like
It's a fucking statue.
these are
falling
100
on him.
pound like chunks like hitting
Yeah.
him, and he's crying out in like pain, but he doesn't move. And I'm like, holy fuck, is he gonna be able to walk? Like,
Yeah.
Is he gonna live? Are we saying goodbye to Graveheart in this episode?
but the rock hounds are fucking tough, I guess.
Yeah.
With their space
He
marine
ends up
armor.
getting buried though in rubble, but Pyrrhus gets out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he tells him to take Pyrrhus and evacuate everyone.
Yeah, evacuate the planet.
Man,
And,
things get worse before they get better. Jesus. The wins in this aren't too great feeling, huh?
No. I keep forgetting you have that filter on.
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
The way-
So,
the way you
where
took
were
the-
we? Oh,
the
the
way you
fucking
took
beast
the
planet's
drink was
opening.
really funny.
The beast planet is preparing itself.
Yes, it
Yes.
is
Very red inside.
opening wide.
Yeah.
And it's like
Wow.
grabby thing.
Grabby thing. Yeah.
Yeah, grabby thing. Technical term.
Yeah.
The Vizier
This is hard sci-fi, damn it.
hard,
Yeah, of course.
the grabby thing.
Yeah.
The planet grappler.
Planet Grappler.
Planet grappler.
Actually, that is the Beast Planet's Extendo Claw.
Thank you, Ben Shapiro. That was a very
which they stole from. Wow,
that was a very good. Sorry.
he wasn't even trying to do Shapiro
I
impression.
I couldn't tell you what Ben Shapiro even sounds like.
Just
That's
tell me
good.
later. Yeah. All right.
So the grapple claw comes out, and so that's actually stolen from Unicron. A lot of people don't know that. It's actually stolen from Unicron, the 1986 Transformers movie. He was eating planets far before War Planets, so don't think that
Actually,
could have gotten past me.
Actually, if you go back to
That was
1963
even
Marvel
better. That was
Comics,
good.
Gal-
I was trying to do Ben
Yeah,
Shapiro.
I know. I could totally tell.
Unicron is a clear ripoff of the Marvel Comics Fantastic Four villain, Galactus, which first appeared in issue 27 of the Fantastic Four comic book, Volume 1. Thank you very much. First published in June of 1963.
So yeah, do your homework next time. That's all I have
Yeah.
to say, and wait for applause.
Yeah, so
Um,
maybe you should actually know a thing or two about this sort of thing before you decide to start a podcast about it.
I like that he's doing an impression
He's
without
doing it.
knowing
He's
who it
doing
is.
it without knowing anything about it, but he's doing it spot on.
I'm not doing an impression of anyone. I'm
I
doing
know.
It was
I-
very good.
I'm doing a an
A nerd.
actually neckbeard.
Yeah, yeah.
The actually guy.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Vizier kind of like sneaky beaky stays behind.
Okay, Becky.
And Pyrus is like, Vizier, come on. And he's like, go ahead without me. I have some Vizier business to do. And I'm like, do you?
I think he does.
What happens here? Are we this far ahead? Hang on. Are we back inside the planet?
9:30. Yeah, Pyrus is like addressing his people.
Yeah, that's right. That wasn't what I was going to say. Go on.
Yeah.
I'm a bit ahead in the episode.
Yeah, but basically, I guess the way that the technology on fire works is when he goes before this like big fire in the throne room, he can like project his image to all like the cities and stuff across the planet,
Yeah.
and they get like a holographic image of him in the flame.
Science checks out.
Yeah, the science checks out. It's flame TV.
Television.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's like, hey, though we might like lose our planet, we as a people will survive, so planet fire will survive with us. And he tries to give them like a rousing
Yeah.
speech.
Yeah.
He does a pretty good job.
Getting them all aroused.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good leader.
Yeah.
He's coming
I
into
like
his own.
Pyrus.
This kid's actually a very good leader. Yeah. Well written.
Yeah, so what ended up happening? Graveheart and Tekla went to go look for the
Yeah, Graveheart and Tekla find a Stonehenge in the center of, supposedly in the center of Planet Fire. Much
right,
like the one in
the center. The
well,
center.
not the center.
They
You know what
say
I'm
the
saying?
center. They say
I'm
the
saying
center.
the
They do
center.
say the center, yeah.
I do say
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Uh,
no, the mini golf Stonehenge thing isn't in the center.
No.
No.
It takes you to
It
the
teleports
center.
you to the
It,
center,
Yeah,
teleports you to the
that's right.
center,
which
to the
implies
world
that the
and
That's
core,
more what I meant to say. Yeah.
the
which
world
kind of
engine
implies
control
that
room.
these planets were created around the world engines.
Mm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah, it's all an inside job.
There's a rainbow road in here too.
Yeah. Except
But somehow also beast drones?
yeah, see, this is it. When Tekla was on the ice planet and she was talking about, oh, well, Lamprey was in my head, and so I'm kind of just going off whatever she knows. So apparently they already knew about all these, and they're
Yeah.
waiting before they can save another planet. They're waiting to sabotage this one. So I think
So
they
I'm-
got there before they did.
Why didn't they just
Because
blow it up and then leave? Why'd they wait for them to come?
holes,
Dramatic
man,
Well, they-
holes.
well, no, like the the world engine controls for Planet Fire are fucked up
Yeah.
already.
because
They're
No,
broken.
it's
Yeah.
because the beast drones shoot one of the Rainbow Road chips in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
fight that's coming up.
Yeah.
But if the beast drones were waiting for them, why didn't they just
Why didn't they
shoot them
just?
anyway?
Yeah.
See the
Yeah.
beef
Yeah.
drones?
That's a fair.
The
fair
beef
point.
drones?
Beef drones,
I thought you said beef drones.
beef drone jerky.
Moo. Okay.
Bleep drones.
How'd they get in there?
I don't know.
Whatever.
I assume we. No,
carefully.
I assume we will find out.
They're no.
Oh, okay.
This
Yeah.
like the fact that like Tekla already mentioned that like she got the knowledge of where this thing was the world engine was from Lamprey, and now
Implies that
on the
they
planet
know.
it implies that
Yeah.
it implies that this isn't a plot hole, that this is something that we will
Yeah.
actually find out like the
I hope
reasons
we do.
behind
I forget.
later.
We get a really cool scene of ice. You know those like spider-like ice tanks?
Yeah.
The
Like
ice mites?
defending
No, the
like
tanks. Not the ice mites, the
the
tanks.
walkers, the
Yeah.
tanks with the turret. Yeah. And in the first episode of season 1 that we get to see.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
like
those are.
defending the
Huh.
carriers, and the carriers almost look like they're rock, maybe they're ice, and they're evacuating all the fire people. This is really cool to see. I mean, super depressing that they have to evacuate a whole planet, but like seeing the ice tanks on planet fire and all the ships like working together and stuff, it's fucking cool.
It is really, really cool.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
where
so
are
the
we
battle
now?
happens in Rainbow Road. The
They
Vizier is like hiding.
Yeah.
they, they take care of
When I
it.
was watching this yesterday, I was like, "Oh, is the Vizier up to something? Like, is he going to try and sabotage their efforts? Does he hate the Alliance that much?"
Yeah, I was like, why is
Yeah.
he being sneaky beaky?
Yeah.
You get one last finger wag.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he
I
kind
like
of
how
does.
they show one of the pillars is destroyed, and then I think it's Graveheart's like, oh, it's fried, it's toasted, and Texa's like, no, it's fine. I can see if I can fix it. And then they keep going like, oh no, there's hope, and no, there's no hope. Oh no, but I can
Right?
fix it. Oh, actually, no, I can try, and
There's a
it's gonna be
55%
fine.
chance though.
Yeah, but they
55%.
they
That's
did
not great.
try. They did try to fix it. Something like 56, 55.
So the
And then
Vizier does that thing that you see in movies and TV a lot, where he's like to Graveheart and Tekla, "You
yeah,
go on. I'll be right behind you." As they're about to leave the control room.
yeah,
Where are we here? So the giant grapple arm comes out to grab Planet Fire, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So okay. So they do get the thrusters online, but it's like minimal power.
yeah.
Something's wrong with the Rainbow Fire
The thing, the
monolith,
engine.
one of the giant like engine chips.
Yeah,
So the engines are working, but at like minimal power. And yeah, like Christopher
Yeah.
said, it's kind of like it's not exactly like a go on without me kind of thing. He kind of like lectures them and finger wags, and he's like, you fucked this up, blah blah blah. Like, get out of here.
yeah.
Get the
I
fuck out of here.
I always
Get
knew you'd screw
I'll
this
fix
up.
this.
You
Get
know,
out of here. And so they go, okay, dad. And they
I
do.
was like, I was kind of going like, well, why in the world is it his fault? You know, because like he didn't destroy the engine.
I think he's being abrasive just to get them out of there because he knows that they're important to the alliance,
That's actually a very good point. Yeah,
right?
yeah. Okay,
That's my gist, right?
yeah.
That's what I think.
It makes sense now that you put it that way. At first, I just thought he was being a real dick. Yeah, like he was.
So Pirates does something cool. Eventually he has to leave, and his guard is like, "Hey, Pirates, Prince, we gotta go." And he's like, "But are all my people gone?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Dude, why are you waiting for every single person to like leave? You're the prince. Get out of there." And he grabs some like fire earth
I'm like,
and puts it in a
oh,
tube.
it's bits of a erupting volcano. I think.
Yeah, like part of like
Yeah,
this
a lava
volcano
blob.
that they live in. And I wasn't expecting it. He goes to the throne room and it's a ship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some weird
Yeah.
flying saucer type thing.
That's rad.
Yeah,
That's
we
fucking
could learn
rad.
something. We could
The
learn something.
palace is like a UFO. Yeah.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you know it, one of the battle moons has the perfect like receptacle for
Well, not.
Pyrrhus's like palace to like nestle
Yeah.
in. And I was like, oh, okay.
Why not?
Well,
All
why
right.
not?
Oh, okay.
That's
These are
cool.
all play sets, damn it.
He's like, and this is my planet now. This moon.
This
So
battle moon that
all of his people
belongs
are
to
on one of
Planet
the
Rock.
moons. Yeah. Awkward. Did they even ask for these moons? Or was that like a compromise that King
It hasn't been revealed yet. Because
Oh, right.
remember at the end of last season, like it's kind of implied that like Jade didn't exactly ask for the battle moons,
Yeah.
but
He's like,
then like
wow, I can't believe you got Lord Mantle's um backing. And she's like, yes. Yes, Lord Mantle, let me take these.
yeah,
Yeah.
So Pyrrhus does something cool. He takes the lava back out and like he holds it in his hand.
Yeah.
And he said all of the fires of planet fire will burn in as long as all of our people have memory.
Yeah.
And he kind of like tosses it on these cauldrons and they all light back up.
Yeah.
It's like palace fires.
Pretty cool.
It's cool. I don't know the point, but it's cool.
Ceremonial.
It is
Yeah.
ceremonial.
Yeah.
tradition.
It's tradition, goddammit.
Tradition.
And then we get a
Tradition.
heartwarming like kind of last goodbye.
Yeah.
So they can communicate through the fire, as we've seen, and the Vizier and Prince Pyrrhus have uh a heart to heart, as the Vizier says his final goodbyes because he has stayed on the planet.
Yep.
How do you two feel about this?
So what happens in this scene is the Vizier stays behind to control the world engine, basically, and he radios the prince and says that you don't need me anymore because you have become a king unto yourself. I see your father in you. Um,
Mm.
and I was wrong
Yeah,
about the alliance. These people truly are your friends. I saw that when I saw Graveheart basically like put his life on the line to save you earlier.
Yeah.
And this is the last thing that I can do for you, essentially.
Yeah. And
And
while he's
Pyrrhus
what
is
he
doing
does
it,
here, what he does here is
mm,
fucking hype.
it's
yeah, I
it's
love
pretty
it.
hype, man.
It's
So he
emotional, but it's kick ass. Yeah.
So Emperor Femur, Vizier of Planet Fire,
yeah,
Yeah.
like he then this
and like
good job, man.
and in his dying moments, like he admits that he was wrong. So, I mean,
Yeah,
he's been an asshole the entire show, but he admits that he was wrong about it. So, good on him.
right.
Yeah.
And Pyrrhus says, "No, I need you to stay and like guide me. Like you guided my father. I need you." And he's
Yeah.
like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
I can't teach you anything else. But like Christopher said, but I can do this one last thing for you."
Yeah.
And
And
they have a heartwarming moment where they all try to reach through the fire and flames. Um, and play Dragon Force on expert. Before
trying so hard not to say
their
something.
fire before their fire message like cuts out.
Yeah.
And I kind of like what the Vizier says to himself, to the beast.
Yeah.
What is that?
He kind of says like, you eater of worlds, who've come to taste our righteous fire. I hope you choke on it.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Nice.
eat our righteous our flames and choke on it. Yeah.
And he's like, through my last breath, what is he?
He said, for the sake of my planet, I spit my last breath at you.
That's
Nice.
fucking hype.
Very nice.
And then he steers it into he hits the claw, and I guess
He
his
basically the claws
dying
going out
move.
to grab the planet.
He rams it.
Angles it in a way that it kind of fucks the grapple thing.
Yeah.
And he smashes it into like one of the claws.
Yeah.
And it pushes the claw like upward into the side of the beast planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucked them a little bit. It looks like it destroys the claw almost.
Yeah.
And indeed, it
was
almost
pretty
looks like the
awesome.
planet's not going to get swallowed by this like core thing.
Yeah.
Because the claw falls into it, kind of like janky. But the way that the great particle effects, Jesus, the way that the thrusters are kind of angled, it almost like pushes it into the core thing. So it almost got away. And the last we see of fire is the beast planet like closing the stomach core thing around the planet. So hopefully he fucked them up somewhat.
Yeah.
And that was episode 2. On to episode 3, Period of Adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So what's going on in this one? We're back on Bone, the Boneyard.
The Bone Zone.
The Bone Zone. And speaking of Bone Zone, we're going for the throne.
The Throne Zone. In the Bone
Grown
Zone.
Going from the Throne Zone.
I'm in the groan zone over here right now.
You're in the groan zone. He's like, so
Femur is in this like hallway, like saying some Femur
I'm so
bullshit.
great. Oh, check me out, boys.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of soldiers behind him, and he steps on like a trap door or something and like falls through.
Yeah, yeah.
And
they call him on this shit, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that important. And he falls into this pit with a bunch of these like snake type creatures, and then we
disgusting
see
bone planet creatures.
Yeah. And then we
Should
cut
be
to then we cut to Prince Pyrus like watching the instant replay of the fire planet like fucking up the beast planet.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, where was this camera in space? It's doing that TV thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like the footage that a character is watching is literally just like the actual footage that the viewer saw.
The viewer saw. It's Christopher and I have I can't recall when we first noticed this, but we've noticed this like crystal ball thing that we can't unsee now. It's in everything. It's in movies too. And I'm always pointing it out now where there's just footage that people are watching, but like, where was the camera? And it's often, like Christopher said, it's from the viewpoint of the viewer. But like, is it implying that there was a ship hanging out right there next to the beast planet?
Yeah, with like a camera crew just like capturing the footage.
Go. Yeah.
Maybe it was a Hoth probe.
Someone pulled out someone was like, "Oh shit," and pulled out their iPhone.
Yeah. Hey man, they have spaceships. Certainly they have satellite phones. Pyrus does something cool and he's like, I'm in the Vizier's memory, and he like puts his hand together and makes like this weird wicked like fire eagle crest in the air, and
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, that's cool. I
it's
don't know
cool,
when
but
you would.
I'm like, oh, I didn't know you had the ability to do things like that. But all right,
Can you do anything else? Can you throw
what else can you do
Kamehameha?
with fire? Like,
Right? We could really use some. If you could throw fireballs, we could have used that by now. Damn it!
I know, right? Uh, so back in the Snarlack pit, uh,
He's hitting him with bones.
Yeah, he's fighting them with bones,
With a femur.
and I'm
Looks
like,
like.
nothing on this planet looks like it would have bones. Like those slug things. Why would those things
Yeah.
have bones?
that's always been
Teeth.
my problem with the design of all of the inhabitants of Planet Bone. Is like they look like lizards. Like I don't know.
Well, the lizard things are vertebrates, but like a lot of the slugs and gross shit, and bugs, they're
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
they're invertebrates, so they wouldn't have bones.
I just always thought like the inhabitants of something like Planet Bone would probably have like they would probably be like hard, like almost insectoid, like exoskeleton type things.
Yeah,
That would be my I don't know.
it
It's not
it
that
feels
important.
it, it
It's
it seems like it should be planet slime, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Planet amphibian.
Planet slimy.
Planet Ew.
Planet you. That's right.
Yeah. So Emperor Palvis is enjoying a king's feast, and he's like, "Oh, it's so nice to be alone." And Femur shows up.
Yep.
And instead of like, why doesn't he just kill Pelvis?
Really wish he would.
Like, I don't get why he doesn't just order his guards to take that guy out. Is there some like weird thing where the advisor is allowed to try to kill the emperor, but not vice versa?
Maybe I get the impression this is like some kind of like ideological code on the planet where it's just like, oh, just what the right hand man does is like he constantly tries to kill the emperor, and like that's just the
Yeah,
way it is. It's isn't that like what the isn't that like what the Sith do in Star Wars? Like the apprentice is always trying to kill the master, and the
Ye-
master knows this, but like kind of just lets it happen. Like he won't allow himself to be killed, but he allows the attempts to continue.
the good point. That is very Sith.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've ever played the game, um, the Force
Knights of the Old Republic.
The Force Unleashed. There we go. You
Okay.
play the main character is Sith, and there very much is this constant acknowledgement that you're always trying to like beat your master.
Yeah.
And he has like a training drone. Sorry, droid. It's like a robot that holographically can look like different opponents, can change its
Right.
like form. And at the beginning, he tries to assassinate you, and you beat him, and he's like, "Oh, good form, master. Next time I'll try to kill you better." So like even his buddy is like his droid that he keeps with him that helps him all throughout the game.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, at the most inconvenient moments, he tries to kill you. Star Killer. And
Can you
he's like,
imagine
"Not
if like
now." And he's like, "No, now's the perfect time."
can you,
So
can you imagine if like I don't know, like Siri, like your like smart assistant was like always just trying to take you out.
giving
You're
you the
like,
wrong
oh,
directions and shit.
you're like, "Oh, hey Alexa, what's the weather today?" And she's like, "It's going to be cloudy with a chance of death." And like fucking like fires like some electricity at you. You
So
dodge action roll out of the way and you're like, "Oh, you almost got me there, Alexa."
nice try. And she's like, "Dang, I'll get you next time." Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
The Sith kind of have a like a Darwinian, like the strongest survive approach to things. because
Right.
the more you survive your lessers trying to kill you, the stronger you become and the more on your toes you are. So the strongest Sith are so used to killing and being attempted to be killed yourself that they're very dangerous.
What
Yeah,
doesn't
that
kill
makes sense.
you keeps trying until they eventually succeed.
Yeah. And you never get to fight a Jedi because of the infighting of the Sith. And indeed, what there's like a slushy that's poisoned.
Yeah, yeah, basically. And he gives it to like one of the like grunt like soldier
Yeah.
guys, and he drinks it, and everything seems fine. And then Femur is about to drink it, and then the guy like chokes and falls and dies.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
and he's trying to tell Femur basically, Pelvis, he's like, hey, like seriously, if you don't let me kill you and take over, your people are gonna want like satisfaction. And the way that happens in our culture, as you know, is you get killed anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he's basically telling him very brazenly, hey, you can choose letting me kill you or letting the people kill you. Either way, I'm gonna be the emperor. So like Pelvis has got fucking balls like
yeah,
lately.
yeah.
And he's like, you know how the old rhyme goes. What is it? You snag the throne, you rule the bone. I know. The one who snags the throne rules the bone. I tell my
There's another
girlfriend that
part
every
to it.
day, but she doesn't believe me. There is, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Femur like goes to the John, and the
Yeah.
toilet explodes,
But he survives.
but he survives. And I think he remarks that uh maybe like running away from the battle wasn't such a good idea after all.
Yeah, and it's just
Yeah.
like, oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, buddy.
And so
And then he does some role play.
the next scene is hilarious. Like
Okay.
the next scene is like the beginning of like a recurring joke throughout this episode that I found fucking hilarious. So
Go ahead.
so Femur like walks in, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna try and repair the alliance. I'm gonna go to Lord Mantle on planet Rock." And he says to Pelvis, he's like, "Yeah, I'll be me. You you be Lord Mantle."
Yeah.
And so he acts out like how he's going to approach Lord Mantle, and he's like, "Hey, old buddy, I was just in the neighborhood." And uh Pelvis is like,
Destroy him,
"Yeah,
God.
guards, destroy the intruder."
He's
And
speaking with like a very Shakespearean.
yeah, yeah, over the top. And Femur is like, you never were a good actor anyway,
Yeah.
basically. Um,
Yeah, after he like cowardly tries to keep role playing, he's like, settle down, Lord Man. And then he realizes they're role playing and he's like, you ruined it. You screwed up. He would
yeah,
never say that.
yeah. And so the next scene is them like showing up to greet Lord Mantle. And he's like, "Hey, Lord Mantle, old buddy, I was just in the neighborhood and thought I would stop by." And Lord Mantle just like literally like word for word repeats what Pelvis said.
Yeah. Guards. What does he say?
Sees the intruders.
Yeah. So the comedic timing of that, well written, guys, because it cuts
Love
from
it.
that little role play on Planet Bone directly to the throne room on Planet Rock.
Yeah.
Like immediately like following that. So
And it
to
plays out
Pelvis's credit, he nailed it. He
yeah,
nailed
it
it.
plays out exactly the same way. I love it. And
That's
indeed,
good.
we'll call back to that later
Yeah.
on. We get a scene with
Oh, this
our
is weird.
heroes talking about how there is a food shortage, and the alliance is going to run out of food within a week if they continue on the way things were,
Yep.
the way things have been going. Which one thing that when I was watching this earlier, I didn't really understand is why no one at any point brings up the notion of rationing.
Yeah.
Well, they
They
presumably they are talking about rationing, but they're looking for like easy to grow alternative food sources for all their people as well.
no, they never bring up rationing at all. And in fact, like when like these like alternate food sources don't seem to be particularly viable for all of them, they're basically like, "Oh, what are we gonna do? We only have a week's worth of food." And I'm
Well,
like, "Ration,
Graveheart,
guys. Ration. Start rationing."
Graveheart. Well, maybe presumably they're already doing that because later we see people fighting over scraps of food.
Maybe, but the show doesn't explain doesn't
As
never
a
states
fan
that.
of Metal Gear Solid, I can tell you I know a thing or two about rations. They're circular little pills that appear in your inventory.
They're not pills, they're cans.
Oh, is that what they are?
Yeah, they're a little can, like a tuna can.
Yeah, and the first time I played that, like on my like CRTV,
Yeah.
right? And you see them, they're just like a little circle thing, and I'm like, so rations are lifesavers? Are they pills? But yeah, they're supposed to be cans.
Yeah, yeah.
So what does Graveheart try? He tries some fireweed lichen.
Yeah, yeah, and, it apparently is like, it's from the planet Fire, and it's too hot for, people of the planet Ice to eat, uh
Maybe the rock people can.
yeah, the rock people's digestive system is strong enough that they can handle it, so Graveheart eats it, and he's like, "Oh, okay, cool," and then there's this very, like, cartoonish bit
I
of
love it.
of his face, like, going red and him, like, choking and shit.
I
Too
like it on
much
screen cap.
spice.
Yeah. Too spicy. But
Too
before he
much
gets
spiciness.
overwhelmed, he's like, "Mmm." So, like, he liked it.
How
Save
you doing
that.
over there, Siddler?
Groovy,
It's doing
groovy,
groovy.
groovy. I'm just trying to get caught up on this episode here.
Yeah, we're just skimming through them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my allergies are starting to go haywire, listeners, so I apologize. This was a problem on, the recent episode of Too Much Energon as well. It's incredibly smoky in Victoria right now.
Yeah,
So
we don't have normal light. It's sepia.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah, so
Nashville filter outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Anyone
Tennessee
not
filter. So,
anyone not familiar with so
making my
if
nose
you live
very
in
stuffy.
California or on the West Coast, you know that during the hot months,
Mhm.
sometimes the sky is just yellow or red.
Wildfires are a thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, and
I
usually, like, we
swear
have
this didn't.
wildfires, in the inventory, in the interior.
I have
Wildfires happen.
76 wildfires left. Okay.
Yeah. We can feed them to, the survivors of
The ice
planet
planet.
Fire.
Yeah.
No, no, like, wildfires happen in the interior of British Columbia, like,
Mm.
every single summer. It's
Yeah.
been going on for eons. But we actually have wildfires on the island going on right now, and that isn't the norm necessarily.
No. Yeah.
It has been for the last few years, and I blame climate change.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago, where for, like, almost a week, the sky was like rust?
It was. I think
That
that
was
Like,
was
you could look at.
as
2015. The sky was orange.
I was gonna say. I think that was like as recent as. Well, yeah, 2015 that happened. I think also like 2 years ago it happened also.
It
It
did, yeah.
happened
Where it
again
looked
for the
like
last
a
bit.
very pale green, orange, and very hazy.
Yeah,
Weird.
yeah, there was so much smoke in the air that, like, it looked like it was foggy out, but it wasn't fog, it was smoke.
Yeah.
And my car was it was like dusty, like it had ash all over it because it was just floating in the air.
Yeah.
It was kind of scary.
Oh,
You'd go
um,
outside, people would be like, "Stay indoors."
there was the air quality, warnings going on.
Warnings. Yeah,
Right, right.
Right.
yeah,
We haven't had one of those in a couple years.
yeah.
There
That's
was an air quality warning last year, remember?
there.
Because last year, we actually us and what was it? Hong Kong, I think, were, like, competing
Right.
for, like, the worst air quality in the world.
Right, we talked about it on air, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it, I think on a preamble of Too Much Energon.
Yeah. So, hopefully that doesn't happen this year.
No, and there is an air quality warning right now, so but anyway,
Oh.
long story short, this smoke is, like, really plugging my nose up, so, let's try to get through the rest of
Yeah.
this kinda quickly.
So,
We're already at, like, an hour
yeah,
and a half or so of
let's
recording.
roll. So, on Planet Rock, Emperor Femur says, "Hey, you can't kill me. I'm royalty, blah blah blah. You can't shoot us." And he's like, Lord Mantle's like, "You're right, but we can beat you up." So they like just beat you just beat up Femur and Pelvis and
I
literally like a
like,
cartoon.
yeah, like
Like a
oh,
cartoon, they grab them by their scruff of the neck and like their waistband and just toss
you
them
know
out of
you
the
notice
chamber.
everybody like, on all of these planets, like, their food is green slime with shit in it.
Yeah, green slime with different shit in it.
Yeah.
The rock people eat rock salts. The fire people eat fireweed. The ice people, I don't know, eat ice ticks. Yeah.
Mm.
Sure.
Yeah.
I wonder what they ate on Planet Tech.
Microchips
I was gonna
in
say,
green slime.
Wouldn't that kind of be cannibalism though? Because they're cybernetic.
No, it's not. They're not sentient
Oh,
chips.
okay.
They're just like RAM or something.
Oh, okay.
they eat
Yeah.
brains. Okay.
Leftover from old PC builds.
Old,
From my old PC, yeah.
PCs.
Yeah.
I like how
Uh,
Pyrus is like, "Hey, these ain't bad," and he's eating the ice ticks. And he turns no, ice lice or something. And
Yeah.
Cryos turns to Jade and he's like, "Oh, did you take out the eggs?" And Jade is like,
oh,
"What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Oh, well, they can grow to such crazy sizes inside the body that." And Pyrus like comically like spits out all the green goo and the. I'm like, why would
I
you let him eat that?
I like how someone says to her, like, "You're a much better fighter than you are a cook," and she's like, "Never said otherwise."
Yeah,
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 I'm like, "Yeah, sweet."
yeah, nice.
I like Jade.
Yeah,
yeah.
me too.
And then guess who shows up? Beamer
Yeah,
shows up to planet Ice.
yeah, he shows up and he's like, "Hey, Cryos, old buddy, I was just in the neighborhood and thought I would stop by." And Cryos is like, "Guards, seize these intruders." A callback to that scene from earlier.
Good job, writers.
Yeah, I dig it.
And basically, they all kind of like lecture him, and they're like, "You're a huge piece of shit, man.
Yeah,
You've like teamed up with the enemy, like literally. You've teamed up with Lamprey,
Yeah.
and you abandon us during like a really like important battle." And
Yeah,
even like
and
Pelvis is like, also his people don't support him, and it's just like, yeah. And I'm kind of with them. I'm like, is it kind of everyone's best interest for Femur to die so
what
Pelvis can take over?
Femur starts like trying to make like a bunch of excuses. He's like, yeah, would you believe me if I told you that when I ran away, like I was trying to find an escape route for all of us?" And they're kind of just like, and he's like, "Yeah, I wouldn't believe me either." uh
No, so they ain't having it and they kick his ass out. And but he wants to find Pyrus because Pyrus and Femur kind of got a rapport. Like they're kind of
yeah,
friendly with each other.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There's this like I can't remember how exactly, but like Femur like kind of weasels out of them like exactly where Pyrus is,
Right. They're
like
like,
through
because
dialogue.
he's like, "Hey, where's Pyrus? I want to say goodbye to the kid before I leave." And they're like, "He's on the blah 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 battle moon. So fuck up, get the fuck out of here." And he's like, "Oh, you don't say."
And yeah,
yeah,
so Femur like shows up to the battle moon to almost immediately to meet to meet to meet Pyrus, and Pyrus immediately is
Chews him
just
out.
like, yeah. He's like, no, fuck off. Um, and there's like a little scene with Pyrus where Pyrus observes a couple of soldiers. You mentioned
He's-
Cal, you mentioned this earlier. Couple of soldiers like fighting over food, and Pyrus is like, you call yourselves warriors and you would fight over food while there's a starving child right in front of you? And they're like, sorry, sir, you're right. And they walk away.
And he's like, "Oh, apology accepted. Starvation can drive a man to do crazy things." But
Yeah.
yeah, Pyrus and Femur kind of like make up, and he's like, "Hey, kid, I'm sorry. Like, I'm really sorry." And that's the first time I've ever actually said that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Femur gets the idea that like the way to win, when he sees like people starving, he gets the idea that the way to win the alliance over is to give them food. Which,
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Yeah.
the logic is sound.
Why is he so dumb? And
But he
Albus
decides
lets
to like
him.
he decides to Operation Dumbo drop the food into
Yeah.
into the onto planet ice.
And to be fair, that's how you do deliver like aid.
Supplies. Yeah.
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 That's how the military
It's the
does
old
it.
the old world vision technique. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, their parachutes are like organic whirlycopters,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I
And
guess they freeze.
Pelvis points out, he's like, yeah, these will freeze in the atmosphere, which suggests that Pelvis knew this
He
like
knew.
all along, and he just let this whole plan play out.
What a what a shitlord.
Yeah. So all the food like lands on the planet, and there's like a comical
Destroys a
montage.
bunch of shit.
Yeah, destroys. There's a comical montage of a bunch of shit getting destroyed, like a tank getting knocked out, like a bunch of like random like ice guards getting like knocked out and shit. Um,
And
and
Graveheart's covered in the goo too, and he's with Pyrus and Cryos and Jade, and he like licks it, and he's like, "Huh, looks like our food shortage problem is solved."
yeah,
That must be some good goo.
but then
Right?
they decide to have a food fight, which I'm like,
It
is
was
this really the thing you want to do when you're like facing what when people are starving?
yeah, I know all this goo gets dropped on you. It's supposed to be rationed, and
It's
Iris
supposed
is
to be a
like, "We
comical
need to
ending,
give."
but I'm like, a whole planet was just destroyed, fellas.
Yeah,
Like,
we need
there's
to
a
give.
whole population of immigrants displaced on a tiny moon when they had an entire planet,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they
people are
can't eat anything
starving.
on it.
Yeah, people are starving.
and we're throwing what we have at femur.
Yeah, and
Okay.
yeah, it's
I understand it's like you need to have moments where you can have fun, otherwise you just go insane, but he got off easy.
You got to
yeah,
ration it out. Yeah.
yeah. It's trying to add levity to the like,
They wanna they
it's
listened
trying
to what
to
happened.
end on like a lighthearted note, but like maybe don't go maybe don't go with a food fight when we just established for the past like 20
Your
minutes that people
children
are starving.
starving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
that was episode 3. On to episode 4, Blaze of Glory.
Blaze of Glory.
So Bon Jovi and Billy the Kid are hanging out on Planet Bone.
Yep.
Oh, man.
No,
What
there is like a very like comical scene, a scene that I found really funny. So the episode opens with uh
Braveheart?
Graveheart and Jade, and Graveheart is basically this is basically like him walking in and being like, "Hey Jade, want to fuck?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a
He's
Like very
shamelessly.
unabashedly so. Like he's like, "Yeah, basically
He's like,
like, yeah,
"Hey,
I'm horny. Let's
it's
fucking do it."
quiet. There's some peaceful times. I wonder if we could get up to something." And he leans in for a kiss.
Yeah.
yep.
And I'm like, "Oh shit, Braveheart fucks?
And
What?"
she like you see the look on her face, like she's DTF.
Yeah,
We'll see.
she's down to fuck, but
Been in
an
the works
alarm
for a
goes off.
while. Yeah. Of course, alarm goes off at
So
the
what's
best
happening
possible
here?
moment.
The alarm goes off. Apparently,
Stress
there's
signal.
some distress signal. There's some shit
Yeah.
going down at one of the moons, the moon that the people of Planet Fire are now living on.
Mm.
Oh dear.
Yes,
And
Yeah.
do they Yeah, they evacuate
they
that
evacuate.
moon.
They evacuate that moon. Um, we cut to Graveheart and Jade on Planet Rock going to meet with Lord Mantle, and we get a little bit of a tease here as to like how Jade acquired all of the battle moons from Lord Mantle. They don't really explain why, but like,
Yeah, what was the reasoning there?
well, we don't know yet. No.
No.
And Lord Mantle's like, if I don't get answers soon, someone is going to pay. And all the main cast looks over at like the advisor, Pelvis,
Yeah.
and he's like looking at his nails and he looks up and he does like a double take. Because as we know,
Yeah.
Femur is absent and on that moon.
Yeah.
So a little suspect. So on the like the bridge of the battle moon, bridge, yeah, sure. The control center. All of
The
the
control room,
commanding
yeah.
officers are like cheering and laughing and like living it up. And
Yeah.
Pyrus is like, what are you guys doing?
And we find out that the leader of this gang of miscreants here is his most trusted advisor that we have never met before, Captain Blaze.
Yeah.
And so it
Captain
turns out that
Blaze.
Captain Blaze, like everything was faked, like the whole distress signal was bogus. There's no problem on the battle moon, but Captain Blaze and his group of insurgents have decided that they want to steal the battle moon and take revenge against the Beast Planet for the destruction of Planet Fire. Which already it's like this is a fucking stupid plan. Like we've seen this thing like just
Yeah.
effortlessly destroy battle
Battle moon.
moons. Like
Not only that, it can effortlessly destroy all like what was it? Four of the battle moons tried to attack the beast planet
yeah,
and it did nothing.
yeah.
So
So
what is
so,
one
so like, what's your plan here, bud?
die with glory? I is basically their plan.
I mean, the name of the episode is Blaze of Glory, so I
Yeah,
guess.
but I'm like, that's one. It's insubordination. Two, like you're wasting an extremely valuable resource.
Oh, it's not even
Yeah.
insubordination; it's treason.
It is sorry, treason. Yeah. Um, like I. y-
Yeah.
And
I
indeed, Pyrus tries to order them to stand down, and they like knock him out.
yeah. So they just
They like,
assaulted their ruler.
yeah, they like put him in an escape pod and like ship him back because they don't want him to die.
Yeah.
But they keep Femur there because Blaze says he has special plans for him.
Uh huh.
Going on in the rest of this episode.
Lord Mantle's like, hey, Jade, all of you guys, lead Rock's forces and retake that battle moon. God damn it, I've been way too generous with these moons. That's
Yeah.
it. Take backsies, bring them all back. Fuck all y'all. I only got 3 left. You don't get any now.
Yep. The beast drones show up, and Pyrus says some inspirational shit to Captain Blaze about how you're my most trusted advisor. Don't do this. Don't disparage the memory of Planet Fire. Honor it by standing with me. And he's like, okay, my prince. And so he decides to take the battle moon and instead fight the beast drones and save
Yep.
the Alliance ships.
So for some reason,
It's actually kind of a nothing episode.
Yeah.
so
Out of the 3, it's the one where like it's the
it's
least
not like it's
interesting.
terrible, but compared to the other 3,
Yeah.
That's
So
fair.
instead of, just letting the moon come to the beast planet and die, who's that stupid barbarian general?
Which one?
Arnold?
Oh,
The barbarian general.
Orc
Block.
Laser.
Block, yeah.
Orc laser, right.
Orc Laser.
He's like, it's time to redeem myself. And he leads a bunch of beast drone like fighters to go like engage with the moon. And I'm like, but the moon's stronger than beast drone fighters. What?
But also the beast planet can just destroy
One-shot
battle
it.
moons. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
It kind of
What
undercuts
honor-
the conflict here.
Yeah. And it kind of wants to remind the viewer, it's like, remember Block? He's here too. And he still has his accent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Again, I think the beast drone planet is like the parent, the matriarch of these like stupid like little general things, and it's just like letting kids play.
Yeah.
Like, okay, take a
Yeah.
few hundred like beast drone things and do whatever. Be back before next year for
Yeah.
supper.
You get 300 aerial beast drones for your allowance this month. Cheers.
No more. If you ruin them all, you have to wait. Yeah. So the Blaze, is that his name? Yeah. Let's say Blaze.
Captain Blaze.
Captain Blaze tells Femur that he's
Captain
going to
Blaze,
redeem.
bro. Yeah.
Captain Blaze
Captain
420.
Blaze, bro.
Captain Blaze 420.
New
that
gamer
that
tag
has
right
to
there.
be someone's fucking gamer tag
Oh
right there.
god, yeah.
Captain Blaze 420 XO, yeah.
Bro.
Bruh. He basically tells
Loaded.
Emperor
Little
Femur,
X, big X, underscore, Captain Blaze, 420,
underscore
big
little
X,
big X,
little
yeah.
X. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
And
So
the-
basically Captain
And the
Blaze,
A in Blaze was the number 4.
there you go.
Yeah.
Captain Blaze tells Emperor Femur that he's going to redeem his lifetime of cowardice by assisting them in their like glorious suicide mission. And he's like, no, I'm fine living a coward's life. I've made it an art form. I've kind of perfected being a coward. I wouldn't want to ruin that now. Even though they're insurgents and they're not listening to their prince, I'm like, I'd bring Femur with me too. Like it's kind of a win-win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Pyrrhus would be sad, I guess. But
He's young. He'd get over it.
but Pelvis actually seems to want to cooperate with the Alliance. He actually seems more he seems more intelligent than Femur. So
Yeah.
I'm in the camp, maybe we do kill Femur and bring Pelvis as the ruler of Planet Bone.
Oh, I'm
Also,
with you there.
The people kind of want to follow Pelvis too. They kind of all hate Femur.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, why not? Why not launch them into the beast planet?
So what happens? The day is saved, and
Honestly, we can go the beast
It ends
planet
like it
fight some
began.
drones. Pelvis says, "Well, I guess I'm the acting emperor now since Femur's not here." He's like, "How about we just destroy all the moons so the enemies can't use them?" And everyone's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
No, Cryos very nicely is like, "I understand your reasoning, Emperor Pelvis, but what would be the point of doing such a thing exactly?" Like he hears him out, and Pelvis is like, "Oh, what does he say? What would be the benefit to doing such a thing?" And he's like, that's a good point. Never mind.
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, Pelvis just wanted to weaken Planet Rock. Like, And it's like, bro, you can't.
Well, though he wanted the battle moon that Femur is on destroyed, so Femur would be dead.
Right, right.
Right.
And he's like, while we're at it, we might as well get rid of all of them. That way they don't fall into enemy hands.
And it's like, why would we destroy them? Why would we I understand what you're saying, but why would we destroy the battle moons when we can use them to fight the enemy? And he's like, huh,
You're-
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
uh yeah, so the episode ends with Jade on a Skype call with Lord Mantle, and they're talking about some secret shit. And
Do they get the
Graveheart,
moon back? They do, right?
let's say they do. Yes, I don't remember.
Fiddler? They get the moon back because Captain Blaze goes, wait a second. If us living and keeping this moon might keep the prince and my people alive longer, maybe this was a dumb move. And they end up defeating Block and the drones, and they end up turning around because Pyrrhus in his personal fighter ship went after them. And he's like, holy shit, our
Right,
prince is
right.
like fearless. This was fucking stupid. And they turn around
Yeah.
because he
Right.
doesn't want to endanger the prince.
They got the moon back.
It's bad plot. This
Yeah.
episode kind of.
Yeah, this episode isn't that
So
great.
the episode ends exactly as it started.
Yeah. We're at the
Oh,
Graveheart.
except it reveals that Jade is in cahoots with Lord Mantle.
Like I said, Jade is on a Skype call with Lord Mantle, and they're talking some like secret bullshit. And
Oh,
Graveheart walks in.
Cryos gets to talk shit to Lord Mantle.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't realize how much taller Cryos is than Lord Mantle. And he has
Yeah,
a ponytail.
There's a moment when he's bald with a ponytail.
Yeah.
There's a moment where Graveheart wants to take control of one of the moons, and Lord Mantle's like, "Don't you fucking dare, bitch! What are you gonna do? I'm your king." And Graveheart like gets angry, and it looks like he's gonna punch him, and then he just does nothing. And Cryos is like, "Graveheart might not be able to kick the shit out of a king, but I can." And he like looms over Lord Mantle, and then Lord Mantle just like loses the staring competition and walks away.
Right.
I dug that part. I'm like, yeah, fuck you, dude.
Well, he hasn't cooperated once since like episode 1.
That's
So,
Cryos is a good way of being elegant while also telling other people to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
He's a well-written character.
Yeah. I like that.
And yeah, that's it. It ends with the Skype call, like Christopher Siege said.
It ends with blue balls. And
Oh, and blue balls.
yeah.
Yeah, because Graveheart's like, I wonder what that was all about. Because he tries to score with her
He's
again,
like,
and she's
Well,
like,
yeah, like
where
I was
were
trying
we?
to say, like we find out through the Skype call that the Jade and Lord Mantle are in cahoots, and Graveheart walks in, and she quickly ends the call, and he's like, "Oh, what was that? What was that call about?" And she's like, "Huh? What? No, what call?
"Well,
There was no
what are you
call.
talking about?
There
I'm
was
not
no
doing
call."
anything suspicious."
Yeah, and then he like tries to get some again, and she's just like, "No," and gets up and leaves.
Dude,
Yeah.
too busy to think about that kind of thing now. And he's like,
Ain't nobody got
turn
time for
down
that.
my magnificent dick? Something's
I
up.
I am
Yeah.
rock hard. Yeah. Ah.
I have
That's that
I
one.
had the
That's all
stones
I
to come
had.
in here and
Yeah.
give you a kiss.
That was
Right?
actually better.
I had the stones to coming in here, yeah. So
And
that's that, folks.
yes, that's this volume of War
War
Planets, a
planets.
Shadow Raiders podcast.
Volume
Yeah.
volume 4.
Volume 4.
We did it. Okay, so
the Shadow Raiders podcast.
sorry. That's right.
Huh?
That's right. You are correct.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Shadow Raiders
The
podcast.
Shadow Raiders podcast.
War Planets. So here on would you Christopher, I don't know. Do all of Lasercomb have a rating? system, Lasercomb Productions.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
We've rated the episodes on the past three editions of
I'm
this
trying to be
podcast.
coy. Jesus. We like to mix it up here, and we are more direct here, and we just give things a war planet rating out of 5 because there are 5 war planets.
Yep.
Snidler,
Yeah.
how many war planets do you give Volume 4?
I give Volume 4 a 4 out of 5 war planets. I think it was a very strong beginning. But I'm with you and Christopher on the thing that, like, not a lot happened in the last episode, and so
Not really. No.
I still love it, but it's still just it's the end of Volume 4. 4 war planets out of 5.
4 war planets out of 5. NeoCal, will give it. I thought the first 3 were so strong. I'm actually going to give it even be high. I'm going to give it 4.5 war planets out of 5.
Ooh.
I
Typically,
really
the person who asks the rating goes last.
not today, not today, Mister.
All right.
Christopher Siege. What are you giving it?
I am giving these episodes a 4.5 war planets out of 5. I think the first 3 episodes are the best episodes of this series thus far,
Yeah.
but the 4th episode was pretty boring.
We're all surprised at that answer.
Yeah. Fuck. All right. If you folks and follow us on the social medias. If you want to find us on Facebook, Lasercomb Productions. Easy to find. That's Lazor. That's Lazorcomb. You can follow Christopher Siege at Lasercomb on Twitter, Lazorcomb. You can follow Snidler at APSNIDDLER.
Yes.
And you can follow me, NeoCal, at Neo_KAL at Twitter. I think
We also have a Patreon,
we got a
patreon.com
Patreon.
slash lasercomb, LAZORCOMB. Starting at $5, you get literal hours every week of bonus preamble audio where we talk about life, the universe, and everything. It's also a good spoiler to hear about what our future podcast plans are, because we usually plan these shows out during the preamble recordings. So if you want a little bit of a taste of what's to come, that's how you do it.
You can creep us in the Discord with the $5 Patreon, right?
There's also a $10 tier, which gets you that and our weekly stupid news program, Lasercomb Tonight. And also mine and Cal's monthly Too Much Energon spinoff, Too Much Galavar, where we talk about the 2021 IDW Beast Wars comic book. And there's also a $25 tier that gets you a whole whack of other cool shit. So check that
A bunch
out.
of cool stuff. T-shirts, the ability to bug us with things.
Yep.
Commentary tracks for certain movies.
Yep. And there's an announcement. There's going to be a new thing added to the $25 tier in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that.
I'm excited for that.
It's something that I think the listeners are going to enjoy. So yeah, patreon.com/lasercomb. Facebook.com/lasercomb, spelled the same way that I just spelled it out. That's kind of the central hub for all of these shows that I produce and we record on. So you want to get updates about happenings on in the realm of all of the various Lasercomb podcasts. That's the place to go and check out. Like that page.
Like it. Share it.
That page.
Like it hard.
Do it.
Yeah. You can even like hover over it and like heart it. We want your hearts on. We want the biggest heart
We want
on.
everyone out there to have a heart on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're listening to the audio version of this, go check out the Lasercomb YouTube channel.
Yeah.
The link is in
It's
the
a treat.
description of every episode.
you
So,
if you think our voices are hot, you should
Wait
check
till you
out
see
us.
which
Planet
they
Fire.
don't.
You should.
They don't, but if you want to see what we look like, go check out the YouTube channel. There's usually some it's definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
especially this episode.
Yeah.
This
There are hats. We help Snidler figure out how to use NVIDIA Broadcast.
Yeah,
He
as you
uses
can
it.
very well see. What do you have to say about that, Graveheart?
I'm just a miner.
No.
And on
That's
that,
exactly what he would say.
and
I'm just a
oh.
miner.
he never said that at all this volume.
No.
Even once.
I think he's over it.
Thank fucking Christ.
Right,
Yeah.
right?
Well, like you were saying earlier, like I agree with you. Like I feel like the writers took some criticisms of season 1 to heart. Because this is, despite the fourth episode being boring, as I said, like the first 3 episodes of this volume, best episodes of the series thus far.
And I would like to say the fourth episode there, that's still one of the better episodes if you compare it to season 1.
Especially the middle of season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things were pretty rough on volume 2, ladies and gentlemen. So go listen to it. It was a fun episode of the podcast.
It was a great
It's
episode.
fun.
Yeah.
It inspired us one of our commentary tracks. Actually.
Yeah, it did.
Yep. Go to the Patreon to find out what that was.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, it's getting late, so I think it's about time we get out of here.
Yeah.
Time to blast off.
It's time to fire the world engines.
It's time to Captain Blaze 420.
I've been one of your hosts, Christopher Siege.
I'm another host, NeoCal.
And I'm the other host, AP Snidler.
And until next month, beast mode.
I am transformed.